Check. All right, here we go. Girl dad. On August 14th, 2005, I became a father. Lindy delivered the most precious, tiny little baby, all 4 pounds and 7 ounces of her. She could practically fit in the palm of your hand, and despite the fact that she arrived nearly 6 weeks early, she was remarkably healthy. I was 23 years old, and prior to that day, I pretty well thought I had the world figured out. But on that day, everything changed for me. I became a dad, and not just any dad. I became a girl dad. Scared to death, but really at the same time too dumb to have any idea what sort of things in life I should be scared of, I walked out of the hospital and marveled at how everything had changed for me. My entire world. On January 3rd of 2007, a short 17 months later, Lindy delivered a second healthy baby, another girl. And so at the ripe old age of 25, when most of my friends weren't even married yet, I was a girl dad twice. I've always sort of been a big picture thinker, sometimes even to my detriment. I can spend so much time thinking about the big picture that I fail to handle the details right in front of me. And to be honest, I rarely consider the consequences of not properly handling the details of the short term. So it never occurred to me that parenting might, in fact, be a challenge. Looking back, my ignorance is laughable. But Lindy was so mature, so organized, so together. She's nearly 4 years older than me, and while that maturity helped her, it was really her devotion to raising a family that made those early years so easy for me. With class and strength and patience and compassion, she handled everything. As my girls grew, I resigned to life as the daddy of girls. I took them hunting a few times here and there, but my girls really weren't all that interested in it. They were just like their mama, all girl. They loved to cook and decorate and sew and make home, all wonderful things. And while I was a little bit sad that my children weren't all that interested in hunting with me, I remember once telling Lindy that it would be fun to one day have son-in-laws that might share a love of the outdoors with me. And then in the spring of 2011, Lindy told me that she was pregnant. 9 months later, the cutest little baby boy was born to us. My pride and joy, my mini-me, the son I never thought that I would have. And so at age 30, while perfectly content being a girl dad, I was given a son. There's an incredible connection between a daddy and his little boy. I guess as a man, when you have a son, you just can't help but constantly see the little boy inside of you, inside of him. And everything you ever wanted for yourself, you want for them. As Tripp grew and our friendship flourished, and he started to enjoy hunting, an odd thing happened right in front of me. My girls were growing up too. They went from babies to toddlers to young kids to teenagers, and the older they got, the more difficult it was for me to be a girl dad. It was so easy for me to connect with Tripp, but honestly, it was so difficult for me to connect with them. And I found that the older they got, the more difficult it became. I didn't know cooking, makeup, sewing, fingernail polish. Teenage girls were foreign to me. I knew sports and hunting and fishing, not little girls. A year or two ago, I was sitting with a friend having one of those rare conversations, the deep kind about the sort of life stuff that's really important, the kind that occasionally happen on a long hunting trip, the kind that end up planting a seed in your soul that ends up changing your life. I was talking about how difficult it was for me to feel like I was connected to my girls. I was there, but figuring out how to be a real integral part of their life was difficult for me, more than just physically present with them. He said to me, I don't know how to tell you this, but you got to make a point of finding ways to connect with your girls. And if you don't, you'll blink twice and they'll be grown. You'll be walking them down the aisle at their wedding, and when it's your turn to make a toast at the rehearsal dinner, you'll struggle to say the kind of things that really mean a lot to them. And then he looked at me and said, you don't want to be that kind of dad. So I set about to connect with my girls, to not just be a girl dad by virtue of DNA or physical presence, but by virtue of relationship and influence, the kind of influence young women only get from their daddies. I haven't figured it out, but I'm in a different place. Life is funny like that. When we are met with difficulties and obstacles, some of them are really easy and we master them the first time we try something different. But with other difficulties, it's more of a process that evolves and unfolds over time. And that's where I met with my girls. Being a girl dad is not natural for me, and I don't find it easy. But that's okay, because life isn't easy. And almost nothing in life that's worth having comes easy. So we're figuring it out one day at a time, finding ways to spend time together and connect. I've learned that Maddie loves to go hunting and shoot guns. She loves to be outside, and planning an adventure thrills that child's soul. She asked me last summer if we could plan a duck hunting trip together this winter, and so we did. Katie went with us, and we learned that she really doesn't like the hunting thing all that much. But Maddie, man, I could have never imagined how much she enjoyed it. And guns were right up her alley. And she was pretty good at it. She's pumped about turkey season. I've learned that Katie enjoys training dogs, and she's pretty good at it. She's training one of Brooke's puppies to be a therapy dog, and while therapy dogs really aren't in my wheelhouse, it has provided a platform for us to talk and to connect because we both love the companionship of an awesome dog. We've gone to some cooking classes together, and we're learning what it means to develop a friendship. And I'm thinking about the kind of women I want them to be. And honestly, for the first time in my life, I'm trying to invest in them and to help mold their character. To teach them that a woman isn't measured by how many things they can do like a man. A woman is measured in how well they can be themselves. And the more I connect with them, the more clearly I see the convoluted mess of mixed messages that society is sending to my girls. Telling them how they should look and how they should dress and what kind of things they should be into and what they should aspire to become. And maybe worst of all, how they should measure their own personal success. So journal, this is me. This is me being transparent and real about one of the most difficult tasks in my life. And this is me committing to not give up. This is me committing to figure out ways to connect with my girls, to spend time with them, and to build a deeper relationship. This is me committing to give my girls the same level of connection and relationship that I give my son, no matter how difficult and no matter how foreign to me. To apologize when I get it wrong and to try to do it better. This is me committing to never stop improving, and this is me committing to enjoy being a girl dad.